ladies and gentlemen. Derby's definitely in the air. People are just buzzing. Spring is sprung. Bright clothes are out. I don't see a bow tie yet. Where's Greg Braun? But anyway, I don't see a bow tie yet. So, welcome to the April 27th meeting of the Rotary Club of Louisville. I'm Walt Kuno, your president. Please, first thing, silence your phones. That would be great. And then the second thing, if you hadn't already done it and you're having lunch, place your ticket where it can be seen. So we're trying to get that. We're in a new place and we've got little bumps in the road, but that's okay too. So, with that, providing our invocation today is Kristen Boone, Market Managing Director of Kentucky for PNC Institutional Asset Management Group. Welcome, Kristen.
Thank you. Happy week before Derby. As we look forward to this next week and so much to celebrate, I wanted to start with a Thanksgiving prayer from Samuel F. Pugh, Reverend, who passed away in early 2000s. Oh God, when I have food, help me to remember the hungry. When I have work, help me to remember the jobless. When I have a warm home, help me to remember the homeless. When I am without pain, help me to remember those who suffer. And remembering, help me to destroy my complacency and bestir my compassion. Make me concerned enough to help by word and deed for those who cry out for what we take for granted. And think about that as we go into this next week. Happy Derby.
Happy Derby. Thank you. And now to lead us in the pledge and four-way test is Tony Coffey. He's principal at Parthenon LLC. He's chair of the Rotary Fund Investment Committee. He's a member of the 1912 Society. He's a Paul Harris Fellow Society member. He's a Paul Harris Fellow Plus A. He's been our treasurer, and he's one of the gems of our Rotary Club. Welcome, Tony, to the podium for our pledge and four-way test.
Walt is too kind. Please join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now the four-way test of things we think, say, or do.
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all, and be seated, please. Well, Karen, if you have a guest, please come to the back. Lee's got the microphone somewhere. There, back in the back. Introduce yourself first. And your guest.
How are you? I'm ready. All right, I am going to start. I am Delene Taylor. I am the Executive Director of the Rotary Club of Louisville, and I think I have two guests here today. Chris Burek, I hopefully said that right. She recently moved to Louisville. She is the past president of the Rotary Club in Clarksville, Tennessee. So welcome.
Chris is looking for a Rotary home, so make sure you go say hello and give a great Louisville Rotary Club welcome. But we have all kinds of great clubs in Louisville. We just have to think this one's pretty good. I didn't say the best.
And Rick Dye, I believe, is with us also. He is a former Rotarian and Paul Harris Fellow from Pensacola and an associate at APK Development. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm Judy Handmaker, and I'm lobbying my next door neighbor to join, which I brought as the guest. Stand up, Frank. Frank is, I guess, retired, but he's kind of become a horseman in Oldham County. So welcome, Frank, and tell him you want him to join Rotary.
Hello, Rotarians. Tom Crimmins here. I have two guests with me today, and bear with me while I give a little story about that. Whoops. Did I turn it off?
It was.
Hello, hello. You drove it, I broke it. All right, okay.
Sometimes it's wireless, so. Hello, hello, hello.
Talk real loud, Tom.
Okay, I'll talk real loud. My first guest is Annetta Hunter. Annetta, stand up. Annetta is a wellness consultant, and we have been in a networking group together for quite a while. And quite by chance, she mentioned to me that she had lived in lovely downtown Lake Charles, Louisiana. Now, I may be the only other person in the room who's had the privilege of living there. And I said, gosh, how did you get there? And she said, well, my dad took a job there. And I said, well, who did he work for? He worked for Olin Corporation. I said, oh, I worked for Olin Corporation. Well, what department did he work in? He worked in human resources. I said, I worked in human resources. How could I have not known him? So let me introduce Charles Hunter, Annetta's dad. He was hired, when I was transferred out, he was hired to fill the position that I was in. And as you can see just by looking at him, he more than filled my shoes.
Welcome, welcome.
Good luck with that.
I have kids, I don't need it.
Okay.
I'm Michael Buckman, I am with Family Scholar House, and my guest today is the fellow Scholar House teammate, Stephen Bernard. He's our career coach. So for you CEOs and leaders, if you're up late at night worried about workforce, he's the person to see because we have some amazing participants in the program. Thank you.
Hello, Ashley.
Hi, President Wall, Ashley Brower with Next Strategic Communications. I have two guests today. The first is Danielle Jones, who is VP of Public Affairs at Stratacom out of DC. She lives here in Louisville. And Christy Dutton, who is a producer at KET.
President Walt, my name is Nick Garner. My guest today is Matt Ruger. He is the social media oh boy, I put my phone down like I wasn't going to need it. He's the community engagement coordinator for the Library Foundation. The Library Foundation is a not-for-profit that raises private dollars for the public library. He's also a reformed former software developer, and he advocates here in Kentucky for ranked choice voting.
President Wall and fellow Rotarians, I'm Lori Flannery with New Directions. My guest today is one of my board members, Jennifer Rechtenwald. She is a senior executive with C2 Communications.
Great. And we need to address Lori as President-elect. PED. There we go.
President Walt and fellow Rotarians, I'm Adam Hall with Fifth Third Bank, and I have the privilege of hosting Kathy Dykstra, President and CEO of Family Scholar House.
Kathy's been here before, glad you're here. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Max Bridges at Wyatt Terran Combs. My guest today is one of my partners at Wyatt, Kathy McDonald McClure. She does a lot of healthcare law and data privacy. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Matt. Hello, Dee.
Hello everyone, Dee Tran from Louisville Institute of Technology. I have my friend here, Patricia Kim, who is a serial entrepreneur. She goes by the DDM Behavioral Service Company and cleaning and maintenance, services.
Hello everyone, can you hear me? Keith Miller, I am the founder and president of Vibe Consultancy, a business brand and marketing strategy company. I have an amazing guest today, which I've got to know over the last several months, Jasmine Presley. She is multifaceted, passionate entrepreneur. I had to cut down her bio she sent me this morning, just before this meeting. She's founder and CEO of Presley Post, a social impact co-working space and creative community for entrepreneurs, creators, and corporations. After traveling to DC in 2020, exploring the downtown space, she was inspired to open a vibrant, multi-purpose space in Louisville, her hometown, to foster collaboration, connections, creativity. Located at 734 West Main Street in the heart of downtown Louisville. Presley Post is also an enterprise that provides access to education, resources, and opportunities to local entrepreneurs, artists, and creatives. Jasmine is also, I mentioned multifaceted, she's also a mom of 3 kids and also a licensed realtor and life insurance agent. Welcome here.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you, President Walt, fellow Rotarians. Kristen Boone with PNC. My guest is Tommy Wallace. Tommy's the market director for commercial banking, and PNC is joining as a corporate member, so you'll see him around more often.
Great. Welcome again. All right, guests that are interested in becoming a member, back at the back table, back in the far back where Rotarian Trudy Wheeler is. So, and Trudy's the president of the Women's Club. So, anyway, back in the back, where's Craig? He's not here yet, but he will be here. There, oh, how can we? Craig, come on, man. You know I do this every time. You make me look. It's like Finding Waldo. Okay. Craig will be in the back. And I just got to do another shout out. So Ken Salvaggi is here. And Ken doesn't have anything better to do between now and next Saturday. Ken is the chair of the Kentucky Derby Festival. He doesn't have on his pink jacket. Maybe Craig borrowed it. But anyway, Ken is everywhere all the time. And today he made time to come here. Thank you. And Ken's on our speakers committee and helpful in getting all these great programs that we have. So with that, we're going to... we're not going to network today, but on your tables, there's a card that says Rotary Club at Louisville at the bottom. For those of you that want to pick that up, jot a note of thanks to our first responders, a note of condolence for those that were victims at our mass shooting event. Don't even know how to say that word. They're on the table. We're going to continue walking through this hard path. Kevin Lynch is on the board of where's Kevin? Where do you go? Right here. You're on the board of Festival of Faith, and tomorrow at 3 o'clock they're having a program called Broken Hearts, Anxious Minds, and there's going to be some wonderful music there. And Ben Soleil from Canopy, so I saw Ben Smocks here somewhere. Dr. Dan Blosser from my church, Christ Church, is there. The mayor's going to be there. There's all kinds of folks that we're going to, the first 30 minutes is going to be music, and then there's going to be just a time for reflection, and it's just, you know, we're in a hard place here. And Derby's here. There's no reason not to be joyful about that, but back in the back of my mind is that there's been some hard stuff. And Rotary's going to continue to push forward to make Louisville a better place, and we'll be hearing more about that and what that means for this situation later. Today, we're going to have a musical entertainment. So Barbara Collins has arranged this. Our singers are David Wood, Gordon Costley, Riley Ray, a U of L student, and accompanied by Robert Lee. And I think everybody needs to stand up here for a second, and we'll get started.
Whose
Y'all can be seated, and we're going to hear some more music right now.
I got the horse right here. His name is Paul Revere. And there's a guy who says the weather's clear. Can do, can do. This guy says the horse can do. Can do. This guy says
We got one more. We can't wait for it.
The sun shines bright on my old Kentucky home. 'Tis summer, the people are gay. The corn tops ripe and the meadows in bloom, while the birds make music all the day. Weep no more, my lady. Oh, weep no more today. We will sing one song for my old Kentucky home. For my old Kentucky home, far
And they're off. Thank you, Barbara. David, Gordon, Riley, Robert, that was just wonderful. Now I'd like to invite Jay Mallory, Executive Vice President of Marketing and Business Development. You mentioned that. So Jay Mallory is going to come to the microphone and introduce some new Rotary members. Welcome, Jay.
Yeah, that song always hits me in the heart of Kentucky Home and my wallet, because we know we're going to, all getting ready to lose some money, right? Fellow Rotarians, it's the duty of our Rotary Club to add new members from time to time, so that we may not only increase our usefulness and influence as our club, but also to extend the spirit of Rotary throughout the community. Today it's my honor to formally welcome, I believe we have 6 new members here. All 6 here. All right. So with Nick Garner, Jordan Clemens, come on up. You have to sing after this. Todd Bale, is Todd here? And Morgan Hancock, Brian Schneider, and Helen Cohen. Is Helen here? Here we go. We've got kind of a bourbon theme today for these introductions. So you have been elected to membership of this club because we believe you to be a worthy representative of the calling and to possess qualities that will permit you to exemplify in your public, business, social, and private life the true spirit of Rotary. You've been admitted not only to the Rotary Club of Louisville, but to a worldwide organization of over 46,000 clubs. And by virtue of your membership in this club, you will be welcomed to the fellowship of any Rotary Club in the world. The honor and privilege of Rotary membership carries with it expectations, including to attend the club's meetings and events, to perform your share of club service, and to place your knowledge and talents at the disposal of the club and in its task of carrying the principles of Rotary into the daily life of the community. I now formally induct you as a member of the Rotary Club of Louisville, and as I introduce you, please come over and walk and give you your pen. So we're going to start with Nick. Hello, Nick. Wave to the group. There we go. Nick is the lead front-end developer of, is it the MITRE? The MITRE Corporation, which works on innovative tools for healthcare fraud prevention and identity matching resolution. Sounds pretty complex. He has over 10 years of experience in web development and technical consulting. Nick is also passionate about politics and governmental accountability. He has volunteered as an organizer for multiple electoral campaigns, and he's the chair of the Kentucky chapter of American Promise, a national nonpartisan organization that fights the corrosive influence of money in politics. In his spare time, Nick enjoys biking, playing volleyball, and volunteering at the local school library. So join me in welcoming Nick to our club. So Jordan Clemens. Hi, Jordan. Jordan is the Senior Investment Development Manager at Greater Louisville, Inc. He is a professional networker. Networking around here. And a liaison for the broader business community, an outsourced therapist and soundboard. Jordan is a fine purveyor of social events and community gatherings, adept at drinking coffee, listening, and taking good notes. All right. Jordan, welcome to our club. So Morgan Hancock. If I say hi to Morgan. Morgan is a commercial real estate agent, business owner, U.S. Army veteran, mother of 2, Bourbonista, and passionate advocate of the arts. She's also the founder and director of Bourbon with Heart, the world's first and only arts-focused bourbon charity. From hosting art exhibits and closing real estate deals to fashion modeling and creating hilarious TikTok videos, play some of those. Morgan is the poster child for doing it all, and all while wearing high heels. And of course, she can't do it all without also being a Rotarian, so here she is. So join me in welcoming keep our bourbon theme going here. Brian Snyder. Everybody say hi to Brian. Brian is a seasoned sales director and with experience across industries spanning banking and commercial real estate to the nonprofit sector. A University of Louisville alumnus, Joe Cars. Brian is currently the Brian is currently the Senior Director of Investor Development at Greater Louisville, Inc., where there's a good chance to spot him around town, touting ribbon and a pair of oversized scissors. We have AD President. Is that working? There we go. Thank you. Brian is married with a young son, but he and his wife are eagerly awaiting the arrival of son number 2 later this summer. Congratulations. He prides himself on being honest and a straight shooter outside the workplace. Brian is passionate about U of L athletics, cars, and bourbon collecting. So, if you want a good bourbon, go see Brian. Welcome, Brian, to our club. Hello, Helen. Did I say hi to Helen? Born and raised in Louisville, Helen graduated from Atherton High School and University of Louisville and taught elementary school. When her 3 children were little, she was a stay-at-home mom. As they got older, she started working for her parents' retail clothing business and managed the store for them until it closed. At the suggestion of her late husband, who was a lawyer, she applied to grad school at Bellarmine and the MBA program. And decided after taking a few accounting courses to pursue CPA certification. When she passed the CPA exam, she went on to work for Arthur Young, one of the big 8 accounting firms, and finished her MBA. Helen specialized in business valuation and litigation support, as as well as financial forensics and tax, hence all those designations by her name. CPA, ABB, CFF, She's currently a director of the accounting firm of Blue & Company, which is headquartered in Carmel, Indiana. Join me in welcoming Helen to our class.
We can do a picture now or after?
After.
Okay. So we want to welcome all of these new members. Thank you very much. Oh, we're done. All right. Yeah, we're done. I'm a Cat card, but I'm a Bengals fan at heart. But just so you know, U of L visited Lexington yesterday, and nobody said anything, but it was a 7-0 Louisville win. They get to play again in a couple of weeks, and Vanderbilt, Kentucky played this week, and then the Tuesday after the Derby, as always. Vanderbilt is visiting Louisville. They do a home and home, so we'll see if I'm going to be bright and get it more in a couple of weeks. But all three of those teams in baseball are ranked in the top 25. Vanderbilt is 4th, Louisville is Kentucky's 10th, and Louisville is 16th. So it's all good. All right. Now, time for the main event. Ding, ding, ding. I'd like to welcome David Hardy, Managing Director of CBRE Incorporated, and Paul Harris Fellow to introduce today's speaker. Welcome, David.
Thank you, President Walt. It's my pleasure to introduce our speaker today, who is Ursula Madden, the External Affairs Director for BlueOval SK. Ursula joined the Government Relations team at Ford Motor Company in 2022 as the External Affairs Director for BlueOval SK, which is the joint venture between Ford and SK On of South Korea, which you'll be learning a lot more about itself. And that group is a wholly owned subsidiary of SK Innovation. Before joining Ford, Ursula served as the Chief Communications Officer and Government Relations Lead for the City of Memphis during the term of Mayor Jim Strickland. Prior to her appointment in local government, she worked as an award-winning broadcast journalist for more than 20 years and was the main co-anchor for the NBC affiliate in Memphis. Ursula is very active in her community, serves on several boards, including the United Way of the Mid-South, and contributes time to the Women's Foundation for Greater Memphis. Ursula's been married for 25 years to her husband, Bill. They are blessed to have one daughter, Laurel, who will be a rising senior at the end of the year. So welcome, Ursula. Look forward to your comments.
Thank you, David, for that introduction. I always get to hear things about myself that kind of makes me feel a little old when you hear all that. I'm so thrilled to be here with you all today. And just want to share a little bit more with you about BlueOval SK. So, you may have heard this, and this is something that Governor Andy Beshear likes to talk about, the $5.8 billion investment that Ford and SK On South Korea have made to the BlueOval SK battery manufacturing plant in Glendale, Kentucky, where we will be creating 5,000 new jobs, which is really exciting for that area. In total, both battery plants, there will be Kentucky one, which you may have seen while you're driving down I-65. You can hardly miss the building that has come out of the ground there. But Kentucky one is been under construction for the past 6 months. And Kentucky 2 will be coming out of the ground in June. So both of those plants will produce about 80 gigawatt hours of power annually. And to put that in perspective, 1 gigawatt hour can produce power for a medium-sized city. BlueOval SK is a 50-50 joint venture between Ford Motor Company and SK On. The two premier manufacturers have a shared vision to create the EV vehicle revolution of the future, and they have complementary expertise in that. Ford has a 120-year history of creating vehicles that are well loved by the American public. And SK On has this expertise in battery manufacturing. Ford is going to grow its 109-year history here in Kentucky through this partnership and build on to its workforce with that 5,000, but there's already 12,000 jobs that Ford Motor Company has here in the great Commonwealth of Kentucky. So let me tell you a little bit about SK On, because that's kind of the unknown here. As I said before, from South Korea, and they are a big deal in South Korea. I just got back from a trip there about 4 weeks ago, and it's amazing. Seoul, South Korea is very dense, it's very crowded. If you've never been there, skyscrapers everywhere, and SK has its name on at least 3 of the buildings. They're in energy, telecommunications, and obviously EV battery manufacturing. They are a worldwide presence in the US, Europe, Asia, and they have 20 years in creating this kind of technology, more than 20 years in creating this kind of technology. When I was in South Korea, I went to what they call Interbattery, and they have all the EV battery manufacturers and all the things that are related to it, charging stations. Some of the new technology that's coming out is fascinating. So it's a very exciting time to be in this space, especially in the US. You can see that picture there. That's actually, it's not a full-blown picture, but you can kind of get an idea. That's what underneath the trucks and the cars look like. The entire underneath of the car is the battery. So it's a little bit different. It's all this space in the front. There's no engine, so they call it the frunk, kind of like the front of the trunk. So it's kind of cute. There's a lot of cargo space, and so when you talk about EV batteries, the whole entire undercarriage is what makes the car run. So who are the folks at BlueOval SK? It's a little bit of a who's who. What you see from left to right. Dr. Robert Ree is our CEO, and if you are wondering what he is a doctor of, he is a doctor of mathematics. That's what his doctorate is in. Jim Creaney is our CFO. He does not have a doctorate in mathematics, but he is very good at numbers and keeping us on budget. Neva Burke is our HR director, and then Mark Haley will be the battery manager for Kentucky One. And then Ryan Wheeler will be the battery manufacturer for Kentucky 2. Mark's got 30 years of experience with Ford, and Ryan's got about 25 years of experience with Ford. But Ryan's got a really interesting history. He actually pitched for a little while with the New York Yankees, and then started his career at Ford, and he's actually homegrown from Elizabethtown. So it's really a journey for him to come back home and to be a part of something so large for his community. So why we chose Glendale? We did conduct a very rigorous site search in the selection process. One of the reasons that we chose that property down there in Glendale is the size of the site. It's shovel ready, local business environment. The folks in Glendale have been welcoming, and in particular in Elizabethtown, very welcoming. So they create a great environment. Of course, the incentives that the Commonwealth and Governor Beshear and his team with economic development put together was paramount. The workforce and the availability of renewable energy. And after looking at many places, Glendale just was the best combination of all these factors. So, I'm always very grateful, and we always want to express our gratitude to the Commonwealth of Kentucky and Governor Beshear's leadership on this project. He's been a fantastic partner, and the entire legislature has been great for us. So we are truly humbled and appreciative. So, a little bit about construction. We broke ground in August of 2022, and that's a fairly recent picture of the plant there. That's Kentucky One. And I've got a stat up there that says 4.9 million square feet. That number's a little bit off. If we got corrected, that's from an earlier number. It's really about 4 million square feet. So Kentucky 1 is 4 million square feet, Kentucky 2 will be about 4 million square feet. And so far they put in more than 1.5 million work hours to get this built so far. The construction progress at the plant is on schedule. It's bringing forward closer to its target of producing an annual run rate of 2 million electric vehicles globally by the end of 2026. Our general contractor is at BlueOval SK Battery Park is Barton Allen. They are fantastic to work with. They actually specialize in building automotive energy and industrial and metal projects throughout North America, so we are really fortunate to have them on this project. They're so organized. And then the local contractor down there is Gray. They subcontract with Barton Allen, and they've been fantastic partners as well. So there are still job opportunities with them, actually, because as you can imagine, a huge site. It takes a lot of people to actually build these 2 battery plants. So we are excited about sharing that information, and if you know people who are in construction and looking for another opportunity, Glendale may be an option for them. So I just want to share a little bit about how batteries are made. Don't get too deep on the science. I'm going to try and keep it at a 50,000 foot level because I don't want to tell you anything wrong, but I have a little basic understanding. So the batteries that we build at BlueOval SK will actually utilize NCM chemistry, that's what they call it, nickel, cobalt, and manganese. And the NCM is widely used for electric vehicles because of the high energy density, and they can store more power than most batteries of a similar size, and they are safer the way they are manufactured. So I'll just show you what kind of what the fuss is about. You can see in that picture there that Mark Haley's got this sort of replica. This is what they call a couch. And inside this pouch, if you kind of open it up, it would be sort of like an accordion shape of layers that go inside of it. And it's spread with that chemical combination. And then these are stacked together in what they call a pack. And then the pack is put into a module. It's actually kind of heavy for one little thing there. And the weight of the battery, once it's installed underneath, is actually very heavy as well. But that is the cell. So BlueOval SK Battery Park will take those raw materials, manufacture these cells, and the cell array groups, put them in those packs, put them in those modules. And it's going to take a lot to get them done, but right now the range is about 250 miles per charge. But with the technology that they've got going on, they've figured out a way how to make the distance even longer. And so I think it's just like anything else. They talk about infrastructure and, you need the battery charging stations. And I think those things will come. I think when Ford started manufacturing cars 20 years ago, people were saying, oh, what are we going to do? We don't even have roads. Well, the roads followed, right? When they knew everybody was going to get a car. If everybody's going to start getting electric vehicles, I think, the charging stations will follow that. And it looks like the federal government is doing what they can to build up that infrastructure. Talking a little bit about workforce, there's going to be hundreds of different technical and professional jobs at BlueOval SK. That will need a wide range of skills and experience. The requirements for these jobs, including professional degrees, technical certifications that may be required for some roles, will be available in the near future. Some of these job positions you will not need to have necessarily a college degree, some certification, but there's a lot of training that's involved because this is a fairly new technology to the United States. So there is some technical training. The equipment that's used to manufacture these batteries, they don't even really make it in the United States, so we're going to have to ship that over here so it can be installed. And we'll have people that train the folks how to actually manufacture these batteries. So we are getting a little bit of love from the federal government and from a lot of folks about workforce of the future. We did have a visit from Secretary Buttigieg a couple of weeks ago, talking about, their role in increasing EV battery technology in the United States and what they'd like to see, the transformation of clean energy cars. He also stressed, Secretary Buttigieg, the importance of training American workers to succeed in highly skilled jobs, and these are careers for a lifetime. Part of that training, the workforce, this is a great partnership. We just celebrated this on Tuesday. The Elizabethtown Community and Technical College, ECTC, and BlueOval SK Training Center. And that is a mouthful to say, but we are so proud to have our name on that building. It's a 42,000 square foot facility. It's located just right around the corner from the battery plant. That's where we will have our 5,000 employees trained to get these great careers at BlueOval SK. And we'll be trained to build advanced batteries for future Ford and Lincoln vehicles. The ECTC BlueOval SK Training Center is the only co-branded program within the Kentucky Community College system and represents a $25 million investment. That curriculum that they'll have at the ECTC Training Center will support battery knowledge, roles and skills, and they'll get that expertise and groundwork so that they can pass that knowledge on and to fulfill the work that needs to be done. And I'll show you that picture. That's from Tuesday, from the groundbreaking. The governor right there in the center with his shovel. And he's really proud of this project, and we are proud to be part of it. We've got some of our local officials from Glendale and from Elizabethtown who were there to turn some dirt. But actually, you can see in the little background there, there's a little bit of steel that's already coming out of the ground. So it was a great day for us on Tuesday. We are at BlueOval SK also looking for opportunities to be more engaged in the community with social projects and other nonprofits. So we're building a strategy about how we want to integrate ourselves in the community. But because we have Ford as such a great partner and an example, I'll tell you a little bit about some of the things that they've done in the Glendale area to actually build up the community there and start that relationship. So Ford provided nearly $440,000 in manpower for its construction partners, Barton Mallow, to actually lay down new sidewalks in Glendale. It was the first time that they had new sidewalks in about 100 years. So it's that's literal, about 100 years, and so they were glad to receive that. It makes their festival. They have an antique festival down there every year, so they were really glad to have that in time for the festival, so people weren't turning their ankles. And our construction partners also installed handicap accessible ramps throughout Glendale to support various projects with United Way, Feeding America, and Habitat for Humanity through Central Kentucky. And we also donated $42,000 to the Glendale Volunteer Fire Department, increasing the department's budget by about 50%. So we really are trying to be helpful. We want to ingratiate ourselves to our new neighbors and make sure that we're good friends with them, and that we are doing good works in the community as well. By the way, we are hiring. We have started that. If you know someone who is interested in a job, like I said, 5,000 people, that's a lot of folks, so we will be hiring from everywhere, but drawing from Central Kentucky, obviously first. But BlueOvalSK.com/opportunities is where you can learn about our hiring. We're actually at a hiring fair today is that in Glendale or Elizabethtown? Elizabethtown. That's happening this morning, and so our area managers for the plant have been doing interviews. I can tell you they do interviews all day, and pretty late to the night. I think we were there until 8 o'clock last night, and they were still doing interviews with people. So it's been it's an amazing process, and we're starting to ramp up. I think we'll really get into hiring people more heavily, probably in the third quarter of this year. And please follow us on all our social media platforms. You can find us on Facebook at BlueOval SK, find us on Instagram, LinkedIn, and of course on Twitter. And we do have a newsletter. So if you go to our website, you can go to blueovalsk.com/getthescoop and stay up to date on everything we're doing. We put out a monthly newsletter, and we share all kinds of information from jobs to all the site visits and things that we do. There's always new pictures on the website. There's always new pictures on our social media. And we'd love to have you follow us around and hit us up and ask us questions too. We respond. And that's all I got for today. But I'll take a few questions if you'd like. Yes, sir.
I understand there are other similar projects underway. One maybe near Memphis.
Yes.
Tell us about what else is happening with this.
So, with the $5.8 billion investment that's happening here in Kentucky, we are also building a battery plant in Stanton, Tennessee. That is coupled with an electric vehicle center that's being built by Ford, the Tennessee Electrical Vehicle Center, which is, we call it TEVC. And that's part of what they call BlueOval City. The site in Glendale is about 1,500 acres. The site in Tennessee is about 2,500. And so simultaneously, these projects are coming out of the ground. We're going to build Kentucky 1, which is online. That's what you see when you drive down 65. Also, Tennessee, the battery plant is coming out of the ground along with the TEVC there. Kentucky 1 will come online first, then it will be the Tennessee battery plant, then Kentucky 2 will come online. And while this is, I've heard, the biggest investment in the state of Kentucky, our BlueOval City is also the largest investment in the state of Tennessee right now. Total, it's about an $11.5 billion investment in both states.
I'm a homeowner, and I think I learned that the way you can make the microphone work is to turn it upside down.
That gives me meaning too, mic drop.
I want to thank you for being a bright spot for Kentucky. Kentucky has needed good news, and this project is fabulous news. This is a crazy question, but...
Well, maybe I have a crazy answer.
Okay. I'm just curious. I know the objective is to make batteries for the autos and the trucks, but is there any solar power that will be used in the day-to-day operations of the plant?
So that's interesting. I think solar has been a thought. It's very expensive to install solar. My understanding is that we have individual power plants at each location in Tennessee and Kentucky that are being built by the respective utilities in those states. They are on a separate grid than what the rest of the community is on. So one thing that's good about that, we've heard a lot of people say, oh, well, what happens? Are we going to have rolling blackouts because you guys are sucking so much juice out of our utility company? And the answer is no, because we're on a separate grid. If the lights go off at your house, it's not because of something that's happening at the plant. If the lights go off at the plant, then there's a larger problem. So, but solar, I think, is something that may be down in the future, but I don't think it's part of the designs right now.
Mary Ellen Harned, thank you. I just happened to go down I-65 on Monday. Wow. It's a little overwhelming. My question is about your particular minerals, the cobalt, nickel, and magnesium. Where do you source that, and do you have any concerns about their availability? From countries where there's turmoil and so forth.
So that's a very good question. We have not finalized all of our contracts at BlueOval SK for sourcing. What I will say is that our parent company, SK On, follows a very rigorous set of standards to make sure that anybody that we buy supplies for, who we buy source material from, is doing what is required by law, they're doing it safely, they are not using children, and that they are being environmentally respectful. It's kind of a dual-edged sword. We want this new technology because we do need to reduce carbon emissions. But as with anything, there's a limited amount of resources. So how you mine those sources and how you manage to build up with electric vehicles is going to be really important. And we're going to be paying attention to that every step of the way, county contracts with people.
I may not have been paying close enough attention, but I'm confused. Is this simply making batteries, or are you constructing electric vehicles with the batteries, obviously?
BlueOval SK is only a battery manufacturer. Right now, we make one product for one company, Ford. In Kentucky, it's 2 battery plants. In Tennessee, it is 1 battery plant and also a car manufacturing plant. And the car manufacturing, well, I'll say truck manufacturing plant that's down in Tennessee, they are going to build a new type of truck, next generation, I think F-Series, but it's a new design, and right now they're calling it the T3. The design team has nicknamed it Trust the Truck as they build it, and so that's why they called it T3, not Terminator 3. And so the batteries that are manufactured at the plant in Tennessee will go into that truck. I'm not sure yet where the batteries that are manufactured in Kentucky, where they will go. They will just be part of future Ford and Lincoln brands.
Related question, is there any plans afoot to retrofit either of the Ford assembly plants in the area to do electric vehicles?
That I don't know. I'm sorry, I can't answer that for you, but I can look into it and have to get back with you on that.
Hi, Steve Reagan. First of all, thank you so much for coming. It was really good talk. So, first question is related to Ford. Is there a projected expectation to where they're not going to be having combustible engines anymore and it's going to be 100% EV?
I think if it was 100% EV, that's pretty far down the road.
Sure.
I think right now we are working to integrate both traditional ICE vehicles and also the EV, and gradually shifting over. But I think traditional combustible engines are going to be here for a little while.
Sure, I agree. So the second question, obviously you're working with Gray as far as the construction, which is a Kentucky-based company. For the operations side, do you plan on working with Kentucky-based contractors?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think, and there's an opportunity. If you go to our website, you will see doing business with BlueOval SK. It's a way for you to get on our vendors list and to look for ways to do business with us. You'll get a response from our purchasing people. But yeah, I mean, I don't think you can put a project this large,
sure.
Into a community and not expect to be doing business with local vendors.
Thank you.
Hi, thanks for that presentation. I was interested, is coming from California myself, that it seems like, if I heard correctly, you're focusing on Ford because of partnership. Mm-hmm. Is there plans to expand outside of just Ford or other automotive companies,
Well, so there is, SK Innovation actually has another company here in the United States called SK Battery America, and they do produce batteries for multiple companies, multiple vehicles. They do the F-150 Lightning right now, and they also produce batteries for VW, electric vehicles. I think you'll see, I'm not sure what this expansion will be, because the JV, in all honesty, is a startup. So, it's a multi-billion-dollar startup, but it's I don't know what the future's going to hold for that. I do know that as Ford partners with other companies. It's kind of got this theme where it's BlueOval and whoever they're partnering with. I think we've seen that with another company that they're building with in Michigan. But I think a lot of companies, GM's partnered with some folks. They've got a partnership with LG. So I think all the automakers are looking into this space. So you'll not necessarily always see Ford, but I think the expansion of EV battery technology will be ramped up in the years ahead.
Great. Well, I guess that's a final question. Thanks, Walt. So just.
Upside down.
Anyway, if you can hear me,
Yeah.
Is there any difference, not knowing myself, is there any difference between EV in regards to battery, besides maybe size and structure, with hybrid vehicles as well?
Hybrid, I don't know the technology with that, but hybrid, obviously, you're still using a traditional combustible engine that goes along with it. And the recharging happens basically when you stop. The battery kind of gets charged when you're at a stop sign or a stoplight. But there is a big difference. I mean, there is no engine with the EV.
Thank you.
That's it.
I said thank you too quickly because I think I know the reason behind the name BlueOval, but could you say something about that?
Sure, absolutely. So, if you notice, the Ford symbol is oval, a blue oval with Henry Ford's signature in it. And so we wanted to, draw from both parent companies, and what the JV decided when they presented the contract was, we want to show that this is a 50-50 partnership. And they did that by bringing in the symbol, which is BlueOval, and then pairing it with SK. But they took off the butterfly for SK on. And so it's BlueOval SK. And those are our colors, SK, South Korea. And so that's how that works.
Great, thank you. Sure. You have a job in a second, but before we get there, so we have lots and lots of guests here today. So if you don't know about what Rotary Club of Louisville does, our latest signature project is the West Louisville Housing Initiative, where this Rotary Club is raising $5 million for first-time homeowners in the 9 named neighborhoods in the West End. And today, for you, we're making a contribution to our West Louisville Housing Fund in your honor. So thank you for this. That's what we do for all of our speakers. Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
We have tickets to the Mosaic Awards, and I'll read what they are.
I'm not looking, so.
You can look away.
2420993.
993, here we go. Johnny's got it. So we have 2 tickets to the Jefferson Family Community Services on May the 16th. Thank you very much. We'll have this going up here. So it's all great. All right. And we're winding down. We're gonna end maybe early today if I can keep my mouth shut. So, a couple reminders. First reminder is, don't be like me and show up here next Thursday, okay? We're not going to be here. We still have a couple of tickets left for our Day at the Downs on Wednesday. If you're interested, don't have tickets, ask Deline. We may still have a couple. We got 2 left, so that's available. Don't come down here. I had a couple of people say, Walt, did you really drive to Savor and then to the Women's Club and then home? Well, I'll never tell. But tomorrow at 3 o'clock, Broken Hearts, Anxious Minds is at the Cathedral of the Assumption, and we need stuff like that. We also need to be happy as Derby. I'll have my Derby quotes for next week, but I found a whole bunch that Henry Ford made that I thought was appropriate for us to look at today. So, I'll build a motor car for the great multitude, constructed of the best materials by the best men to be hired, after the simplest design that modern engineering can devise, so low in price that no man making a good salary be unable to own one, enjoy with his family the blessings of hours of pleasure in God's great open spaces. Wow, that's just great. And Ford has been such a great partner for Louisville forever. I worked at Henry Vogt for several years, and we had United Steelworkers there, and they were happy because they just took Ford's contract and brought it over, and management was not quite that happy, but it made everybody. The Ford, a rising tide floats all boats, and everybody benefited in this community. It had nothing to do with Ford, and today, thank you for BlueOval and what's going to happen in our community. Next, the competitor to be feared is one who never bothers about you at all, but goes about making his own business better all the time. That sounds like pretty good common sense to me. Many people are busy trying to find a better way of doing things that should not have been done at all. There is no progress in merely finding a better way to do a useless thing. Our modern industrialism, changed to motives of public service, will provide means to remove every injustice that gives soil for prejudice. Now that's more than 100 years ago, and we still have lots of work to do. But your Rotary Club here and now does that work every day. Service Above Self, West Louisville Housing District, Rotary Honors Scholars, Habitat for Humanity, and I'm getting the hook. So we are adjourned. Have a great Derby.
Hang on, meet Craig Sherman at the back. I know the sign says at the front, but at this back table is where we'll be doing a 5-minute overview of Rotary.
Good Derby.